All right, in today's video, we are going to be putting the RX8 from Hoyt, their top of the line bow, up against the Matthews lift. I've built them both out, got plenty of hours in, and I'm gonna let you guys know which one I think is better. So the Matthews won the speed test shooting 5 FPS faster than the RX8. Now we're gonna do a sound test. To my ear, the Matthews sounds consistently quieter next to any of the Hoyts that I've shot, but we're gonna put it to the test. We got a little decibel app on my phone. Don't know how scientific that is, but that's the best that we got. We have a slight edge given to the Matthews with a 92 peak, and the RX8 was a 95. Regardless of what bow you guys end up picking based off this video, if you just shoot a heavier arrow, it's gonna be quieter. But with the same arrow setup, the Matthews is a little bit quieter. Now let's talk price. This is where the biggest discrepancy is between these two bows. Now the RX8 is a carbon bow, so it is supposed to be super lightweight. This bow is going to run you with nothing on it about $2 grand. Now for the Matthews lift, on the other hand, this is the Lift 29. This is an aluminum bow. But with that being said, this bow is actually lighter than the RX8 bare bow. This bow is gonna run you about $1,300. The other significant difference between both of these bows, no matter how much you shoot them, is going to be the draw cycle. Where it gets hard on both bows is different. The dump at the end of the draw is very different. So for this Hoyt, mind you, both of these are set at 80 pounds. Right here is going to be very difficult, very hard, and then you have your big let off at the back. This bow is set to 75% let off. That bow is set to 80% let off, so a little bit different in let off, but the Hoyt takes a lot more in the beginning and gets easier at the end. Overall, I would give this smoother edge to the Hoyt. Now let's take a look at the Matthews. So the Matthews, on the other hand, as we draw back, right here is very easy. And then as you start to get right here, that's when you feel that 80 pounds, and then you have a big dump on the back. So I shot my RX8 for a few months before trying out the lift. And in the very early stages, I was very jumpy because you have a very thin back wall. Therefore, it is sensitive, it's hard right here and then dumps. If you creep any bit forward, it wants to roll over the cam and jump forward. So you may notice that you are a little bit more jumpy. As far as which one feels heavier, I would say that the Hoyt feels lighter. So you might be able to pull a little bit more, not have it feel as heavy. But at the end of the day, if you're pulling 80 pounds, you're gonna be pulling 80 pounds. I personally like this draw cycle more. I think it's just because I'm now used to it. When I first started, it felt super foreign, but now that I've shot it a bunch, it just feels normal. Like I'm used to it being hard where it's hard. Pause, whoa. I'm used to the draw cycle being difficult where it's difficult. I'm used to this draw cycle. So ultimately, I sound like every other video, but whatever bow you shoot more, you're gonna end up being a little bit more comfortable with. Another major difference, which I give the W to Hoyt. Hoyt did a much better job, is the grip. This sits in my hand so much better. It also prevents my hand from creeping up. With my Matthews, my hand would start to slip up. Now there is a fix for that. This is an aftermarket grip. This is the Total Peep grip. And now, this grip in comparison to the Hoyt, I like this one better, but this was something I had to buy in addition to the bow. The bow did not come with this grip, and they come in different degree angles and stuff like that, so you can really customize it. I don't believe Hoyt, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, has options as far as the grip goes. So just one thing to consider. Personal preference, someone may like the Matthews a lot better, but I don't see why you would like the Matthews stock grip over the Hoyt. It just doesn't make any sense. Let's talk versatility, and I hate to say this, but the Matthews whoops Hoyt's ass as far as versatility. We will start off with the fact of the draw weight. So this Hoyt right here is 70 to 80 pounds. That is it. You can't shoot 60, you can't shoot 50, you can't do any of that. The Matthews have a mod system in which I could bring this bow all the way down to 50 pounds or all the way up to 80 pounds. So you got a little bit broader of a range as far as poundage. So if I shot this bow for a couple years and I wanted to pass it down, give it to somebody else who's new to archery or maybe not as strong, not used to pulling back heavy weight, I have that ability. Both have good let-offs in both bows. The other thing that Matthews does a very good job is with their accessories. So for example, we have the integrated stabilizer right here. So if I'm hunting in a ground blind in which I do not have a bunch of front clearance, all it takes is me loosening this up and I can slide my 12-inch stabilizer down to that's roughly probably 7 inches right there. Same thing with the sight for it fitting into a bow case, and the accessories, the stand, the Matthews stand beats out the Hoyt stand. Now, one thing that separates this video from all the other videos is that I've spent lots of time with both these bows and I've built them out. So we have the Matthews quiver on here with the stands, the bridge lock, stabilizer on the front. I did run my stabilizer from my Hoyt off the back because I figured I wouldn't be shooting both bows at one time. QAD, ultra rest, and then a spot hog sight. I also ran the spot hog and the same rest on my Hoyt. So I was running the screwed stabilizer off the front. I had a Hoyt stabilizer coming off the back. We rocked the Ghost Sticks, which if you guys have the Hoyt, you definitely got to get these. And then we rocked their quiver. Now, I since have given the rear stabilizer mount to a friend because I don't plan on running the RX8. The bow that I'm going to be running is going to be my Mathews Lift. And here's the big reason why, is the customer service. I've had issues with both of these bows. I don't know if I just have bad luck or what it is. The first issue that I had with my RX8 was the serving coming undone on my cables, and I went and swapped out 2 different cables, got that taken care of. I just bought aftermarket strings. A few months after shooting that, I had my mod screw snap, which we'll throw up a picture on here. At full draw, my mod screw snapped, causing the bow to basically blow up. Luckily, I didn't get hurt. The arrow didn't go anywhere. It just kind of shit the bed. Now, I sent this bow out to Hoyt to get it warrantied. In the long run, they did end up replacing my limbs because my top limb was damaged, or maybe it was my bottom limb, and they replaced my bottom cam. It took 6 weeks for me to get my bow back. Now, I don't know if it's because it was during the summer. We're in the month of July right now. But had this been rolling into August or September, and I wasn't in the position to be able to go buy another bow, I would have been shit out of luck. I'm not hunting. Like, you don't have a bow for 6 weeks, that could be your whole season right there. Mathews isn't all sunshine and rainbows though. After I shooting this for 6 weeks, my limbs cracked on me, which I didn't even realize till I brought it in because I felt that the bow was shooting a bit low and the draw weight felt a little light, which it was because my limbs were cracked. I brought this in last Thursday of last week to Shields. They called Mathews, they had my limbs in the following Monday. They overnighted the limbs. Now, the situation is slightly different, right? Shields was able to replace the limbs. Hoyt had to see the bow to make sure they warrantied it, but Mathews acted like that. I'm still able to go hunt a week later. It hasn't even been a week, and I got my bow back. It's dialed in. I can go hunt. Hoyt, however, even in this process, when I would call them trying to figure out, hey, do we have an update on my bow? Like, what's going on with it? Is you guys going to warranty it out? They had no information. They would make me call Shields, get an RA number, have to call them back for them to tell me that basically nothing. So that to me is a big thing. Both bows are really great. I think I'm gonna sell this. Maybe I'll end up keeping it. I love the bow. I was confident with it. I'm confident with this bow. Whatever bow you decide to invest your money in, you're gonna end up loving the more you shoot it and the more you get used to it. But that customer service thing really gave the edge to Mathews, because I know if we get close to September and I have another issue with this, I'm gonna get taken care of really, really fast. If I have an issue with my Hoyt, I don't know how long it's gonna take for it to get fixed. And most people are not gonna be in the position where they can go buy another bow in the meantime until their old one comes back to sell. Hopefully this video helped you guys. Obviously, if you're into archery, you understand this is very subjective. Everybody has different preferences and stuff like that. But overall, when you look at all the tangible stuff, I give the edge to Mathews. And when you're talking customer service and warranty services, Mathews takes the cake. I don't work with them. Mathews, you can hit me up though. I mean, I'd work with Hoyt too. I still think they're great bows. But I don't work with either of these companies. I don't have any ties. They just take my money. But I am going to be shooting the Mathews Lift for my 2024 season.